Alright, Bloodborne, guns only, or something. I think. Let's go. I should probably explain what a run like this entails. Bloodborne guns only means using only weapons that fire a bullet out of the weapon when used. Not to be confused with arcane or other various devices that use bullets but do not fire a bullet-like projectile such as the Rosemarius. That's the flamethrower, by the way. Also, if you could do me a favor and subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed the video, as this video was a long time making, I would thank you. I also want to start doing more runs like this in the future, so if you guys have any recommendations, leave them in the comments. But let's go. We start as every playthrough begins, making the character. And I would say we have to make one worthy of the task. Yeah, it's about what I had in mind. Bloodborne, guns only, it's kinda hard, at least in the beginning, and here's why. We start out by collecting quicksilver bullets, the main ammo of the game, blood vials, the main ammo of the game, pulling down the first ladder, one of many, and then grabbing some blood vials, narrowly avoiding death in the process, and then staring death right in the face as he sprints over, picking the hunter axe as it gives you more blood echoes, the hunter pistol because, there's no choice, and the notebook. Now when firing a weapon, as you can see here, you shoot and it does damage. But if you catch them as an attack animation, they will stumble and do their little pause animation? I don't know, but you do more damage. The next couple seconds is of me stumbling as I'm trying to remember what the buttons are to consume blood into bullets. Up on the D-pad, by the way, if you're on controller. This is the main ammo of the game. Seriously, use this all the time. My next step was going into the Hunter's Dream and deciding if I'm going to sell my items. I do. And also deciding if I'm going to run naked for this entire playthrough. At least until I get better clothing than this. I don't do that, but I could have. Just not what I wanted to do. They don't sell for enough to make it worth it to me. Now you may notice that I'm actually going to leave the Hunter's Dream without buying anything, blood vials or bullets. This is a mistake. I then head down below the first spawn to actually grab things such as Molotov cocktails, which I won't be using this run, but I will be selling, which is a huge part of the early run, you'll see. I need to sell them. But here I grab my first bloodstone shard, dodge that guy, run up here and grab these quicksilver bullets off of this guy, don't get hit the entire time, run through here feeling like a boss as I grab the blood vials, and then I walk over here feeling like a big shot. I'm not a big shot. If you're trying this run for yourself, get used to seeing the screen. You die a lot like this. A lot. I then go back to easily retrieve my blood echo. You know what, I didn't want him anyways. You can keep him. I'm probably going to learn and not come through here again. I sprint past, dodging that guy. Don't want to deal with him. I'm kind of fed up with this run already. Run over here, grab my second bloodstone shard. They're pretty important. Also grabbing the occasional blood vials that I see along the way, along with sellable items such as oil urns. I then attempt to gather my bearings. Then I hear a beating on a door. Looking over, I see a giant. I head over to investigate and gather some of his materials. I find a torch and Molotov cocktails. That's all I need. I then proceed to walk around until I find boxes that are breakable, leading to a hidden path. I show this because I couldn't find it my first time around. I then take the long path, which you see here, dotting my entire journey as I walk over to this door. This door happens to be a shortcut back through. I run past this man, I will fight him later, open the door, run through, gather my third bloodstone shard, which is important, run up here, get ready to unlock the shortcut, and narrowly escape death as I dodge through. I'm a beast. I then head back to the Hunter's Dream to upgrade one of the many weapons, realize I don't have enough blood echoes, run back through, sell some stuff, to then turn right back around and upgrade my weapon. There we go. I then go to test out the weaponry that I've just received. Just terrible. Let me run you through a large early game farm, consisting of killing the first enemy, killing this guy, takes a couple bullets now, earlier on in the game, it's a lot worse. I then run through, grabbing whatever bullets and consumables I can early on. They will only be there for a limited time. I will then sprint through all the way to this old man. I will pop him. Sounds terrible. I get 4 bullets. If I use no bullets during the entire encounter, that is 4 bullets achieved higher. This doesn't really help me most of the time because I don't need bullets, I need blood vials, but I do end up farming for a little bit. I then proceed to run through different portions of the game after coming back from that farm run. The next thing that I will grab is certain items, cold blood dues, and this hanging chain item, which I assumed at the time was the saw blade. It is not. Nevertheless, I did cut down both. That one is still incredibly important for my early game run, but I will then proceed to knock down the saw blade and talk to the Raven woman. I don't know what her name is at this moment. I should also mention that it may seem that I'm spending a lot of time in the early game, and that is because the early game is actually the hardest part of this run. After the early game, things speed up tremendously. I gather items in the early game, I mention them, but what happens is that I actually end up moving through the game much quicker. Check this out though. I did get 2 bloodstones, incredibly important, but then I pull off the most evasive evade you've ever seen. Then, grabbing myself a madman's knowledge, dying for the second time in this run, I then take a moment to contemplate my existence and why I chose this run. Then I moved on, came back, and grabbed the saw blade. The reason I grabbed this is it is very good to sell. Then I came back to try my luck. Died again. Became very angry. Threw my controller. After I retrieved my thrown controller, I realized that it can only go up from here. Maybe I won't get clapped by the next enemy. Oh, come on. Well, at least I can go up the ladder and kind of dodge out of the way. And he won't follow me. Well, I can move west. Well, okay, that's not my fault. Let's be honest here. I then opt to attempt to grab more bloodstone shards at the end of the bridge here. That's 1. Run around, dodge this enemy, come back to where I was before, grabbing the next bloodstone shard and not being followed to my doom, dropping down onto this ledge, which actually nets me 1 more thick cold blood. Don't really need it, but we'll see what it gives. And then we grab the hunter garb, which is what I was talking about before. I run around, narrowly dodging a death, grabbing the bloodstone shard, staring death straight in the face, not terrified at all. He'll never do damage to me because the pig only swing. Well, okay, well if he doesn't swing. Okay, the run is harder than it looks, I promise. I then respawn to use 3 cold blood dues. I'm not sure why I left only that clip in there, and then I returned to the hunter's dream without using the rest, but it's okay. We run through, fortify our weapon, not the saw spear, move over. Hunter's pistol, we get that to +2, which is actually the highest we'll have it for a little bit. We're going to sell the saw spear and the torch, and then we're actually going to equip the hunter's garb, which is going to be our armor for a lot of the run actually. It doesn't leave us for very long. Sell the foreign gear, finally. I hated that set. Bought as many blood vials as possible, and got right back into it, grabbing another cold blood dew. Skipping over here, dodging that super set enemy. Cold blood dews, dodging this, grabbing the oil urns, running around. Making this jump first try because it's actually super easy to... Who left that in there? Trying it again and getting it... I mean, the first try, we get a bloodstone shard. Then we run through, grab quicksilver bullets to max out our set. Do not die to the pig this time, grabbing a badge that we will never need. I don't know why I grabbed it. I just did. I climbed up this ladder, trying to attempt to find this enemy. He stared me in the face. We were at odds. I didn't know what to do, so I climbed up the ladder. He scared me. I went back down. I then saw the peak of Soulsborne AI, as this man was stuck on another man for what seemed like ages. I just stared and stared. They would never come. So I had to go over and eventually build up the courage so that I can come off of the ladder and meet this man face to face. It took a minute. I then walked over, pulling both of their AIs. He swung at literally nothing, and then he gets stuck again behind this man. But he will come. He will come in time. He then stands over me, looming his fate. I get one ladder higher and one ladder higher. Every rung that I go up only means closer to his demise. He's so terrified, he has to run back. I'm just as confused as the rest of you watching this clip. But then he comes over to me. I do know. He swings, he doesn't kill me, and then he gets ready to swing again as I go back up. Oh, taunting him, and he falls. Just like that, the big man is down. I then go up and unlock the elevator. That was quick. I then proceed to cut right back in, selling the items, such as the oil urns. Go back in and attempt to have a civil conversation that doesn't end very well. Okay, I'll talk to you later. This is sad. I then realized why these hairy men were so angry at me. These bullets hurt as I stared at their lifeless bodies. I would then proceed to start making the biggest mistake of the entire run. I could be much more powerful, much more quickly in this run. As you can see, I'm obviously preparing to level up. I make a very large decision. I could either put it into blood tinge, meaning more damage for each of my shots, or I could put it into vitality, equaling more health. This is a mistake, and the reason it's a mistake, you will see later. But, in the end, I decide on vitality. For what reason? I do not know. Don't do it! Don't do it! God! Enact my revenge on a formerly terrifying beast. He is now dead. I then proceed to do a mix of bullet farming and blood echo farming to get me up to my next level before I fight the first boss. Now you may be wondering, we're nearly a third of the way through the video, and we still haven't even started on the first boss. And the reason for that is that I felt that this part of the game was the most difficult and time-consuming part of the run. And I wanted the video to reflect that. But as the video progresses, so too will the speed of my commentary, as we do not need to cover the smaller things like that, because the game speeds up much quicker as you're playing it towards the end game. And I'm not sure if on a regular playthrough it would be as easy towards the end game to beat the game as it was with the guns only run, or if it was just the fact that guns only take a while to speed up. But I felt that in the beginning it was very difficult, very much, and towards the end didn't even feel like I was fighting bosses. I just felt like I was backing up sometimes. This will probably be one of the last times that I mention this during the video as well, but I'm still making a mistake, and I'm showing it to you now. There we go. We then proceed to start our first boss fight. And you can see that I'm trying to test out the different lengths that I can stand and still do a reasonable amount of damage to the boss. The ranges can vary depending on a few things, but the main dependent is your distance when you fire the gun and his animations. His animations can throw him closer and deal more damage, or it can throw him back and deal less or no damage. This tends to make most boss fights a game of chance and AI playing, as they tend to throw themselves in many different directions over the course of the fight. You can also see that this is only the first boss, and I'm showing most of the fight. I say most because I did cut out a few clips here and there of long distance where I didn't do anything, or where I didn't feel like you should see my mistakes. You can decide on that one for yourselves. But the reason that I do this is to show you how the fight goes, because later on, these guys tend to fight the same way because they're melee based, which means that they try to get closer to you no matter what. But you have a ranged weapon, so you can keep your distance, meaning that this fight is how most fights in Bloodborne look with a gun. You just tend to keep your distance, hold your bullets, and fire. And with the first of many bosses down, we get ready to prepare ourselves for the second and much harder boss fight, in my opinion. We head back to the Hunter's Dream to spend all of our money on blood vials, as we did use quite a few in that fight. We then also retrieve the missing Bloodstone shard that we passed by earlier, die in a seemingly hitbox related issue, of course. Get another Bloodstone shard at random, killing this werewolf. Slide down a ladder to retrieve blood vials from a man who tripped and fell pretty far. Open up a shortcut, and also making sure not to forget the music box that we never used. I don't know why I got it, I don't know why I didn't use it. I just didn't want to. This is a mistake. Mistake. I then begin to head to the boss room for the second and harder of the two fights. As the battle begins, you'll notice that he is a much quicker and much smaller enemy than the first boss. This means that his ability to dodge goes through the roof, as he moves much quicker than even I can at some points during the fight, which leads to many unnecessary hits that I take over the course of this fight. But you see, most of the time, I'll either catch him in an animation, or I'll pop a few shots his way, do a blood vial charge, and then leave for my next. I'll back up, shoot him, knock him over, and then go back to shooting him again. That's the entire fight. Basically, you'll see I clip out a lot because that's what I'm going to start doing in most of these fights, is showing small bits of me doing damage as the fight continues, and then I will clip to the very end where I kill the boss. But this time, I don't do it very well, and I end up dying. First death of a boss fight. I end up heading right back in and doing him in on the second try. Having a close call towards the end of the fight, but we got him in the end. We make sure to grab the red brooch and consume it, as this will be our first and main gem for quite a little while. We also make sure to pick up the Blood Gem Workshop tool, allowing us to equip gems onto our weapons. We then head up the stairs to open up the door, unlocking the Cathedral Ward lamp. Try saying that 3 times fast. We then proceed to head around the map, collecting bloodstone shards along our way here, here, going around here, and killing this little vermin. Careful not to wake the dude on your right, though. He could mess you up if you're not careful. And there we go. Using those bloodstone shards to upgrade the hunter pistol to +3. And then finally equipping the blood red gem. Wait a minute. We sell off things such as the almost identical hunter's set, and then using the blood echoes we retrieve from that to level up, you guessed it, vitality. This doesn't change for a while. This mistake goes on for quite a little bit. Come over to this guy to get more fire paper? I think it's fire paper. I don't even know what this guy does. I just know that it gives me fire paper, and that's all I do. Pull the super secret lever, narrowly dodging an attack, dodging through, getting hit, starting to hate dogs more. Just gonna say it out loud now. Also making sure to grab the antidotes, as these will be very helpful in a later boss fight. Same with the pungent blood cocktails. Wow, that's a really weird name. Lighting the campfire. I then proceed to head through, farming up some extra bullets along my way, then proceed to immediately get clapped by an off-brand nemesis. I then proceed to start fixing some of the mistakes I made at the beginning of the journey. Gather a couple more bloodstone shards, starting with this little critter, going back around and collecting what I missed the first time, and over here, ending with a final drop off over here. I then ascend the ladder and deal with the hunter, as any hunter should. 4 bullets to the chest. I then wait until I receive the blood echoes before save quitting as to not lose the item he dropped. And there we go. Just like that, the item should be on the ground, but I don't even need it. I just did it because I could. Then proceed to open the shortcut for the area. Get the bloodstone shards located to the left of the shortcut. Also making sure to kill the critter, if I can, and get the rest of the bloodstone shards along the way. Also making sure to get the secret item located to the left of the entrance, and then not get clapped by my enemies. Whoa! I then gather up as many blood echoes as I can to put them in the blood tinge, as this will increase my damage before the boss fight. I then make sure to grab the bloodstone shards located in this room. Proceed to level up again. I then went down to the church to ask the blood-starved beast for directions, as I was confused on where to go. All he told me was to go right. I didn't know what that meant, until he slapped me in the face, which I can only assume means go right back the way you came. After I finally got the joke, I decided to go back and end up buying the key to get my way into the plaza. I then realized that I'm low on blood vials and proceed to begin to try to farm the werewolves up in the center bridge area. But right now, I lose a lot more blood vials than I would gain later in this run. This is still the best way to farm blood vials, but it gets better as time goes on. You'll see. I then use the key I bought to open up the plaza gate. Retrieve my first set of twin bloodstone shards. Use my blood echoes to purchase blood vials. Light this torch and then proceed to play Ring Around the Rosie with these dogs. Slowly begin to get the rest of my twin bloodstone shards. Dealing with the critters in my way to get the rest of them and getting shot in the face. Also heading back to get the one twin bloodstone shard hidden behind the rocks. Then proceeding to upgrade the hunter pistol to +4. Then heading back out to get more twin bloodstone shards for the gun. Then proceeding to upgrade the gun to +5. See, I could have just redid the clip, but I'm better than that. Then grab some more twin bloodstone shards. Unlock the shortcut through the witch's area. Kill this critter to get a little more twin bloodstone shards. Unlock the second and much more important shortcut through the witch's area. Stumble around until the critter falls out of the sky and I pop him for some more twin bloodstone shards. Get the gun to +6 for the time being. Then purchase gas coins gear as it provides the highest and slow poison resistance that I've found so far. Then proceed to put 2 rounds in the witch's head, just like you should. Grab the rune workshop tool, which I won't use for 7 millennia, and then level up my blood tinge once again. and then promptly get beat to death by a man with an uncommonly large sack. If this clip isn't the most played part of the video, I don't know what is. I then light the hidden village bonfire, and then begin to use some of the runes that I have stockpiled on my journey so far. And then proceed to waste my time by giving a small ornament to the... Aw. Alright, that's not too bad. Well, got the Tearstone ring. Maybe I'll be able to use it, level up at the same time. Later finding out that it was useless, and then going to kill some pigs out of my anger. And then I have a small montage of leveling up. I mean, who edited this? Like, what is even going on here? I don't even know. Then finally beginning to farm for some blood vials, showing that I have doubled my damage since the last clip. I then attempt to fight Amelia, which only ends in death. Only death. Something I've noticed about this run is you're either not powerful enough or too powerful. So in an attempt to level up, I grab more Twinstone blood shards. Open this chest for a blood tinge upgrade, hopefully. Open the chest above that for a badge, which I have no use for. Realize that at the moment, the gem is a major upgrade to my damage. Attempt the Amelia fight again, which, after a slew of upgrades, ends in overwhelming victory. Because of course it does. I'm a gamer. I don't think I'll ever say that ever again. I then put my hand on the skull to hear the sweet whisperings. I'm calling about your car's extended warranty. Nope, don't want to hear the whisperings anymore. Let's go. Dub the blood echoes I just got into blood tinge. Open the door using the car's extended warranty code, finding out that this is what happens when your car extension warranty gets extended. Then head over to light the lamp. Witness a lynching. Cut through and then pass to the dogs to the left to enter the clinic, up through the ladder. Begin to climb what has to be the longest ladder in all of Dark Souls. Enter the main portion of the clinic. Run past the baby, which obviously doesn't know what it's doing here, and is obviously very confused. I'll leave you to your wits. Proceed to die in what is obviously a mistake anyways. Then I came back to settle the score, which I will immediately regret. This is also a last-ditch effort. If you notice the bullet count, I get real low when I finish her off. And by low, I mean low. All that effort, useless. Because I can't use visceral attacks. I just can't, so. Kill a man armed on a weapon that I wish I could shoot, but I can't. Unlock a multitude of shortcuts, starting with this one. Get a baby version of the artillery outside. I then start my fight with the three amigos, which immediately ends in me getting gunned down later in the fight. I'm not ready yet. I then spend 5 minutes trying to ride the carriage before finally entering. Let's go. And we're an extra location up and 2 horses down. I'd say that's a win. Get the first of many bloodstone chunks. Unlock the main shortcut of Kindhurst. Pull the bookshelf lever. Dodge through enemies to get the second bloodstone chunk, and also opening a chest for a useless gemstone. Then killing this critter for 2 bloodstone chunks. Upgrade the hunter pistol to +7, which will immediately be useless. Do a bit of parkour to grab the Evelyn from a chest, which will be our main weapon for the rest of the run. We then head back to deal with the Dark Beast Parl. Our DPS was able to push through during this fight. Wasn't too bad. We then make a few preparations before we start using the Evelyn. Run through Snake Forest to get the rest of the Bloodstone chunks for our next level. Match our Evelyn to the Hunter Pistol, which will put it at equal level. We then head right back in to absolutely clap the 3 Shadow Men. Unlock the shortcut just further ahead. We then die to what might be the most annoying attack in all of Bloodborne. And it's not even the last time that we see it either. Finish her off on the second try, as most things are in this run for some reason. Head up and grab the Lunarium key. Proceed to squash Rom on the first try, because he's so easy as long as you don't hit him in the face. Grab another Bloodstone chunk just past the lamp. Then light the hidden village lamp. Yep. Give up my life for a Bloodstone chunk. Gun down this innocent critter for the rest of his Bloodstone chunks. Hop into the cage to get the upper cathedral key. Grab the 2 Bloodstone chunks before having a heart attack. Prepare the Evelyn for some of its final upgrades. Hunt down another innocent creature for his Bloodstone chunks. Grab the Bloodstone chunks not even 10 feet away. Then grabbing the last Bloodstone chunks here, to then finally get the Evelyn to +9, which it'll stay at for a little bit. We then have to run for our lives to even get to the boss fight. The boss fight wasn't too bad, just a major time waster, to be honest. He really likes to hold his own, hit me with real small attacks that I can't tell, but we ended the fight off pretty well. We then head to open the doors for the upper cathedral. Spend 5 minutes trying to figure out how to beat this boss, before getting angry and just pistol whipping him to death. This is for 5 wasted minutes. I then proceed to die on one of the closest calls I've had so far. Made me very angry. I had to pause for a little bit. But I came back ready to fight and won the battle on the second try. Anyone else think this boss just looks like macaroni, or is that just me? We then head into the worst room in the entire game. Better nope out of that. Just get past it, because I'm not fighting it like that. Unlock the first of 1,000 shortcuts in this area. Then the second. Start one of the worst boss fights in all of Bloodborne. It's alright though, because I actually beat him on my first try. Okay, maybe the second try. Yeah, once you get his patterns down, it's actually really easy to dodge his attacks. No, I actually think it's better to just hold everything down, make sure that he can't actually attack in the first place, and you can't die. Alright, listen here, you overvoiced son of a gun. I'm gonna give you every bullet I have. I'm not even gonna stop firing. I'm just gonna make sure you keep getting shot. Because I will not fight him again, I swear to God. I'm telling you, worst boss fight in the game. And it's not because I'm bad at it, I promise. Okay, I might be bad at it. We then unlock the third shortcut and die in the most bogus death I've ever had in Bloodborne, ever. I was clearly in there. What? What? And then it's even worse because it makes me sit there and stare at my falling body for like 8 seconds. We then head over to get the best gem that we can get before beating the game. We also make sure we get the Blood Rock to max out the Evelyn. Yup. There we go. Right there. Can't forget to also plug in the gym and level up along the way. We then unlock the final shortcut before defeating the boss. Murgo's Wet Nose is weird because I've normally always had a problem with him, but this has been the easiest boss fight I've ever had because she just kept repeating that spin move over and over and over again. That's all she did. And she died doing it. There we go. I returned back to remember that I actually forgot to put out the candles when I took my bath. Nearly forgot that Amygdala was a thing and came back to defeat him. It was ridiculously easy. I then went over to ask Garamond where the bathroom was, and he gave me this really long speech. It didn't end well. Alright, so all I have to do is beat you, and you'll tell me where the bathroom is? Alright, I'm good with that. Run it up, old man. I mean, seriously, how hard could it be? This guy's been wheelchair bound the entire time. Oh, you can stand. Oh, you shiver me timbers. You've got me quaking in my boots. Oh, yeah, this is... okay. Well, Gehrman always tended to be an issue for me, so I think I might actually have, hopefully, a decently pretty hard time trying to fight this guy. But, I guess not. I mean, I didn't even use that many blood files, did I? Well, hopefully, no? Okay, well, he literally was just an easy fight in the end. If I had to describe this run in a few couple words, I would probably say that the beginning was one of the harder parts of any run I've ever done, but the end was just pathetically easy. I mean, it wasn't even funny. And with that boss fight done, we have officially beaten Bloodborne using only guns. And it actually wasn't too bad. Make sure you guys stay tuned as another video will be coming out shortly. I'm actually not sure on what challenge I should do specifically, but I'm probably already recording one as you're watching this video. So we'll see. But thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.